Hey, thanks for listening to Dragon Wagon Radio. If you're enjoying this show, check out DragonWagonShop.com and get yourself some sweet merch while supporting your favorite indie podcast network. That's DragonWagonShop.com.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to High School Never Ends, a pop punk dad podcast. I am Wingman Steve.
And I am still Chris Wayne 83. And Steve, this is it. This is the episode that everybody's been waiting for. This is the return, or should I say the long-awaited return of the Rankin It party. I think they asked for it. I think everybody out there asked for it, and we want to deliver, and we did. During our February Folly series of episodes, Steve, this has been a ton of fun so far in February. What a better way to continue the fun with a Rankin It party.
I know, and it's a very special day. The release day of this episode is it's Leap Day. It's February 29th. We decided to do February Folly, the shortest month of the year, and we end up with 5 Thursdays. So you know what? I think we did a pretty good job filling it all in, and I'm excited to round it all out with the Rankin It party.
Absolutely. And, no better way to kind of ring things in than bring on, one of the most special guests in the whole world. This individual has been on the show multiple times. Mr. Tom Kiger. How are you, Tom?
That's really sweet. I'm great, Chris. I love being on here. I was telling Chris just a second ago, I listened to the episodes, all the other ones. I just long to be on there chatting with you. I speak to Chris in my dreams. Sometimes Steve shows up in my nightmares.
Sorry.
Everything is just glorious. Thanks for inviting me back, you all.
Dude, you're the nicest guy ever. Chris, I don't know if I told you the story, or I don't think I said it on the air. I went to see Houston Calls open for Midtown this December. Tom is the nicest human being on earth. Tom sends me a note. He goes, "Listen, man, these beers, they're going to be expensive. I'm going to get you one from backstage so that you don't have to waste $12 on a beer." I'm like, "Nah, dude, it's fine. I'm coming out. We're going to have a good time." Didn't ask for it or anything like that. Come to see Tom, tell him how he had a great set. Opens up his pocket, boom, Miller Lights, just ready for me to drink. That was like the nicest thing anybody's ever done.
That's amazing. And this was what, like on a Tuesday night?
It was a weekend, right?
Was it Friday?
It was a Thursday evening, but it was
Thursday,
the 21st or 22nd of December. So we're basically in a weekend mode, Chris.
Oh yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah.
That's perfect. Last show I went to was on a Monday night, and people were pounding Miller Lights. I'm like, I don't understand. I can't do that. Like, I'd love to do that, but I cannot do that. But that's awesome, Tom. It's great to hear, Steve. I hope you took full advantage. I had a couple. You had a couple.
Yeah, yeah. He was ready to like run back and forth like 100 times and get me like a case of beer.
He did well for himself. Yeah, okay. You were having a good time. We all were.
I bought a nice Houston Call sweatshirt, so I paid it forward.
I got to see Houston Calls again. We got to figure out when I'm going to be able to, because I don't want to speak for you guys. Maybe you'll come back to Fort Cord. Maybe you won't. But wherever you're going to be, I got to figure out a way to come see you again, because you guys put on an awesome show.
Can I ask you a question, Chris?
You can.
When I was listening to an episode the other day, I think it was the Jeopardy one where you were getting asked about your favorite shows, and there was a 4 chord, but that was 2022. Did I hear that correctly, or was it wishful thinking that there was a mistake? That it was supposed to be 2023. That was your favorite show.
Called out.
Yeah. No, I mean, you guys heard that episode. There were a lot of mistakes. I think that maybe that answer was a mistake. A lot of the questions were a mistake. I didn't really agree with any of that. And honestly, I think that entire episode has been strucken from the record. So good news, Tom, that episode barely even exists anymore. So we can kind of look back and make our own history.
It's only a couple weeks ago. But Tom, to Chris's defense, the end of the show, from what I recall him telling me, because of the weather, was kind of crazy that day. Right, Chris?
Yeah, a lot of regrets, but then, I think we made the right decision, but we could talk about that another day. Let's talk about Rankin It right now. And look, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't listened to the first Rankin It party, go back and do that. This was the advent of a great idea that we brought into the fold here, where we expanded on one of the best, if not the best segments of the entire show that we have every single time. So that time we had some categories, we had some guests, we went through a bunch of great top 5, top 3, top 2, top 10 lists. However, what we decided to do this time is really, really get serious. It's time, right? There's no more kidding around. We are doing this for real this time. No offense to those that were on the show before. You guys did a great job, but we did not have the guests, rank every single list. But this time, Tom, you are in luck. You get to rank right along with us for all of these categories. And I'll tell you what, I feel like we really brought it this time with some categories. Like, these are not easy. These are tough categories. I was very specific, probably too specific with some of them, probably too, I don't know, tertiary with my decisions on what we decided was going to be these lists. Some of you may agree or not, but in any case, I think that it's going to be a great time nonetheless. And I hope you're up for it, which I believe you are.
Can I ask a question of you two first before? Because I agree, these lists were awesome. You did a great job. I need to know about the planning time it took for you to come up with the answers to your list.
It took me about a year to come up with all of this. So like 365 days.
Steve? I gotta say, I gave it a couple hours and I went back because I like to there's some of these things that we have ranked in some things in the past. And I don't like to contradict myself. So I wanted to make sure that if we touched on a subject that I listened to what I said the last time so that at least I could get it in my headspace. And it's okay if it changes, but I did want to know. So I would say it took me a couple of hours and I didn't do them all at once. Some of them were very scattered lists. I had them all in a Word document, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1s. Some of them I couldn't even put in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1s. I had to like just do a bank at the bottom and then go back and put them in order. Had to do some research. There's some stuff with years and figure out what's what. So I put a good amount of time, I would say, into it. Couple hours total, I would think.
It's good. That makes for really solid content. I'm with you.
How about you? What was this? Weeks,
Days.
months?
This is days.
Days. Okay.
I was doing research. I had to, because Steve, I was texting you and saying, "Wait, are we talking about this specific year? Are we talking about an era? I need to know exactly what we're dealing with here." And then I had to start looking things up because I have thoughts in my head to say this album came out this specific year, but lo and behold, I was bummed because it was a year later than what maybe we were talking about. I had to do a lot of research.
That does not qualify for the list.
No, I didn't. And I'm not breaking any rules. I will not break any of your rules. I will answer every question in the form of a question or answer in the form of a question. I'll be sure to stick with the rules here.
Well, that's it. We got a lot to get to today, and I think we jump right into it. Unless there's another just overarching question that you have, Steve, for Tom or for me or for anybody, for yourself.
Why are we here on this earth? No. I'm good.
Okay. Let's go ahead and let's get, my eyes are watering. I'm so excited. So choked up.
I do feel like, though, I don't know if you're going to announce all of them or we're going to take turns. I feel like whenever you announce the categories, you should do it in like a deep announcer voice. I feel like we need that emphasis on the categories.
Are you saying I have a high-pitched voice?
No, but I think you need to get like real announcery or even like game show. Like, okay, here's the top.
Do you really think people want to hear that?
I like to hear a little change in the volume sometimes.
I change my volume all the time, or is that just in my head that I think I'm changing volume and I never do?
I wouldn't say that your volume changing is exorbitant.
Why are you trying to be nice? Just be honest. I'm
a nice guy. What do you want me to say?
So what he's saying, ladies and gentlemen, is I never change the tone of my voice, and it's always pretty the same.
I like how Chris just reads into my head and he just says the things that he thinks are bad that I'm saying. I'm not trying to say that. I'm just trying to say,
read your face.
Let's make it fun.
I see your face. I can read it. I'm good at that. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and start with the first category. This one is once again going to be answered by all three of us, Steve, Chris, and Tom. Let's get right to it. So the first category is the top 5. So rank in order. Your top 5 Pop punk songs of 2023.
Sound effects. Okay, I liked it. Good job.
Okay, so as we normally do in Ranking It, ladies and gentlemen, we have the guests go first. We're not going to do that every single time, so don't worry. But for this time, we will, just to kick things off. So, Tom, give us your top 5 pop punk songs of 2023.
I would love nothing more than to do that. And before I get this list, I'm sorry, I got to share this about pop punk. Sometimes that can be a very specific kind of tag on a song, and I might have used it a little loosely, so I just want to throw that out there. My pop punk, maybe someone else's not pop punk, but I did the best I could. Okay, is that
I mean, do you have Jelly Roll on your list?
No.
You're fine.
Okay, great. Number 5, Bad Time by Alkaline Trio. Number 4, Future is Dumb by Jeff Rosenstock. Number 3, Fireplace by Sincere Engineer. Number 2, Fell in Love by Blink-182. And number 1 of my top 5 pop punk songs of 2023. The American Dream is Killing Me by Green Day.
Wow. Okay. Big fan of that song.
Big fan.
Kind of dug it myself. I don't know. Maybe it made my top 5. Maybe it didn't, but that's a great list. Tom, Steve, do you want to tackle this next?
Yeah, sure. And you know what? I'll put together a playlist of all of our top 5 tracks. It'll be a nice 15 track playlist. I'll put it in the episode notes so that anybody can listen to all 5 of our favorites from 2023.
Are you writing this down, by the way?
I'm going to have the text afterwards and get it. I wrote it down, but it's a little sloppy. I didn't get
I
the
hope
whole
you
thing.
memorize every single song we go through.
I'll send you everything. How about that?
Thank you. Word document, Excel spreadsheet is also acceptable. Okay, so I actually wrote down 6 because there was one last minute. I was like, I got to put this on there. So I'm going to switch it around. Most of my list is kind of boring. And you'd be like, well, that's really Wingman Steve. Well, too bad because I am Wingman Steve. But I'm going to bump my number 5 to an honorable mention, which is going to be Story of the Year's song, which is called 2005, even though it came out in 2023. And I got to give my number 5, again, I don't know, I think it's pop punk. Our buddies Tired Radio put out an EP this year, which is fucking fantastic. So I'm giving Tired Radio their song Old Keys. I'm giving them my number 5. 4 and 3. I'm giving Fall Out Boy. Number 4 is a song called Fake Out. Number 3 is the last track from their newest album. It's called The Kinsuki Kid, 10 Years. I was a huge fan of So Much for Stardust, so they get numbers 4 and 3. And our boys in Blink-182 are going to get numbers 2 and 1. Fell in Love is going to be number 2. I think that is a super fun poppy jam. And one more time, titular track, made me feel all the feels. Watch the video, cried my eyes out. Saw him live. That's going to be my number 1 track from 2023.
Okay. Well, nothing wrong with that. I think there's a ton of merit into having that be your number 1 and number 2. Look, I mean, this is long awaited, that album. So, and you know how much of a fan that you and I are, me having the name Chris 183, but let's get into my top 5. And I really want to preface this by saying that I did not have an honorable mention, but you brought up Story of the Year. I feel like I forgot a lot of the music that came out in 2023. So guaranteed I'm going to go back and say, I should have added that. I forgot about that. But that's
the rough thing about ranking it.
That's a tough thing. So big fan of Hot Mulligan. I don't know if you knew that or not, but I love that band, Hot Mulligan. We've yet to actually talk about them on this show. But they come out with a really, really awesome record here in 2023. And a couple songs off of this particular record are going to be in my top 5, specifically in the 5 and 4. Shouldn't say that. The 5th spot is the first one. So this song is called John the Rock Cena, Can You Smell What the Undertaker? And I feel like his cooking is at the end of it, but I'm not sure because it cut it off. But I've been listening to this one a lot off that album. And it is my number 5 track, number 5 on the list. Number 4, even though it's not as good as the original, I still enjoyed it thoroughly. The We Didn't Start the Fire by Fall Out Boy.
Wow.
I really I just, it was just like a throw. You didn't expect anybody to do that. And the fact that they did it, even though, again, I didn't love all the choices, it was a really cool kind of like pseudo cover. It wasn't a cover, but like an original cover that they did. Number 3 is once again Hot Mulligan. This one's called Shh, Golf is On. And this is a really great track. If you haven't listened to this album, that's the first one I would say you'd want to listen to, because it just has so many good things in it. Again, if you like that sort of music, he has that real scratchy, screamy voice, but he kind of tempers that with a lot of melody too. So cool stuff there. Number 2 is Turpentine. I love that song. Definitely. It almost challenges for number 1. I love it so much, off the new Blink album, but I still cannot get over how much Dance With Me just hit me the minute I heard it. I love that. I love that track. I know there's a lot of proponents and a lot of detractors, but I am one of the supporters. Dance With Me belongs at number 1 for 2023, in my opinion.
Ole, ole, ole.
Yes, sir.
And Tom, going back to your list, when you had said that you weren't sure what was pop punk and pop punk adjacent, in my mind, I was like, he's going to go with Olivia Rodrigo, because I know you're a big fan. You just posted one of her songs.
I didn't do it. I steered clear. And I stayed true to the year, and I did not give 6 as I was told to get 5. Someone who gave 6, I don't know. We had the same number 2 though. We had the exact same. Yeah.
It's a sick song. It's a great song. Cool. Love it.
I absolutely love that song. And Chris, I love your number 1 choice. I think that's fabulous.
Some people may think it's a softball, but I don't think so.
I didn't know you were such a big Hot Mulligan fan. I saw them live once and thought they were really good.
Yeah, I love them. Yeah, we should talk more.
Yeah, they're coming back. We're coming back. They're doing a tour. Are they coming to Pittsburgh?
I don't know. I think so. I don't keep up with tours. I depend on you to do that.
I'll check for you.
Tell me about that band name. Hot Mulligan. What does that mean?
What is that? Do you tell?
We'll do some research and figure it out and do an episode on them or something. But I saw them just randomly. I went to see Newfound Glory, and they were one of the openers. And I was like, man, these guys sound like a new school Taking Back Sunday. I don't know, Chris, if you get the same vibe or not, but they have like that singy and screamy to them. And I saw them live once, and I'm like, man, these guys are really good. I probably should have listened to them more afterwards, but I got a good taste in my mouth.
I mean, what I hear is just something very unique. So, we'll talk more about that here in a little bit. But Steve, why don't you take the next one?
The next one, ladies and gentlemen, we are moving on. We are going to rank our top 5 pop punk lead singers of all time. So this one could be layups, could be easy, could dive down deep. And you know what? If I introduce Chris, you are going first. How about that?
Easy enough. Well, I'm going to break the rules. I'm going to break, because it's technically my episode, my segment, right? So, however, this is a controversial one for sure. And for all of you out there that are going to get mad, don't get mad, because we have to take the merits of the individual as a singer and not so much their personal life. But I think it's well known that I am a big fan of the music that was produced by the band brand new, and a lot of that is a result of the inflections and the abilities of Jesse Lacey and what he brought, vocally to the tracks that I definitely love so much. So, didn't make the top 5 per se, but I think, for me, he definitely has to be in the conversation. So just wanted to kind of throw that out there. Just as a discussion topic for all of you people out there listening. Number five for me. And look, this was conflicting too, but I stand behind this 100%. I don't want this to come off as pandering, but I will say that after last year, 2023, I did find this band, and a lot of the reason why I thought the band was so great was because, once again, of what the singer brought to my ears with the songs that I really kind of latched onto. So Tom, you made the list. You're actually number 5 on my top 5 list. So what do you think about that? You are. No, I'm serious because I'm not pandering. No, I'm not pandering. I'm totally being honest with you. Even though again, like we did a couple shows talking about 2 of your records, and when we talked about both of them, I obviously had a lot of good things to say, but man, I can't say enough good things. And I saw you guys live, and that kind of just backed it up. So for me, top 5. I put you up against, in a list of 5 others that you'll see here, but throw that out there. Number 4 is Dan Marsala, because I love Story of the Year, and I just think Dan is just a phenomenal vocalist. He's able to go from melody to just a seamless screamo type sound. It's amazing, and he was amazing live too. So Dan, for me, goes at number 4. Number 3 is Billy Joe Armstrong, because what can you say, right? Billy Joe is just iconic, and for me, it's not necessarily about that. It's about a 14-year-old kid picking up the Dookie album and listening, or that same 14-year-old kid seeing that Basket Case video on MTV and just hearing that voice and instantly clicking in my brain that this is the kind of music I want to listen to. So that's why Billy Joe belongs where he is. Number 2 for me is Buddy Nielsen from Senses Fail, because you guys out there know like how big of a fan I am of the screamo type genre and the music, and I think he's one of the best out there that does that type of sound. So huge fan of that, and would love to get into more Senses Fail down the road. And then I don't think it's any surprise to any of you out there, if you listen to the AI episode, I had the choice to pick multiple covers of what songs would sound like if this individual were the lead singer, or that he sang on the songs that Mark Hoppus otherwise did sing. My number 1 is Tom DeLonge, for all of the reasons that I've already talked about on this show. If you don't know the answers, I'm not going to speak for 2 hours on it, but go back and listen to High School Never Ends, because I'm sure you'll find a lot of the reason why. So that's my top 5. And Tom, I'm serious. Number 5.
I'm touched. I'm not, I don't even know what to say. Like I seriously, my heart is very full, and I almost shed a tear, Chris. That was really sweet.
You got
I'm
it.
serious. That's really, I can't even believe it. I feel so lucky to be a part of someone's list. I can't even believe that. I don't need to make a speech or anything. I just appreciate it. How about that? I'll just shut up and.
I feel like I'm on someone's least favorite host list somewhere, like maybe bottom 5 or something like that. But that's okay. It's a list. I want to be on it.
Now Tom has to put Chris 183 at his number 5.
Gotta redo my list.
But you like to be sandwiched in between us, so you go ahead.
I'll share some things later on that might have Chris in them, right?
Fair enough.
Would you like me to go next?
Yeah, you like to be sandwiched. You go ahead.
Okay. This is fun. This was a tough one for me. And let's see. I had to kind of balance how I thought they were as a singer, being a singer myself, and then how unique their voice was. Because I think there's a lot to be said for the uniqueness of someone's voice, where you could be a good singer, but if you just sound exactly like this other singer, it's really hard for me to kind of find a distinction there. So I worked really hard on this list, and here's what I got. Number 5 is going to be a gentleman named Stephen Christian from the band Amberlin.
Yes.
So Amberlin was a kind of an early 2000s pop punk band. I think they're still playing every now and again recently. I think his voice is very distinct, and he sings very well. He commands it well. It's a little bit different than a lot of the other pop punk that I hear. Number 4 would be Ari Katz, who's the singer of a band called Lifetime, which that's a stretch on pop punk. It is pop. It is punk. Maybe not necessarily the same type of pop punk, but that Lifetime's an early New Jersey band in my era, early 90s, that got me really into music. And I wouldn't say he's this incredible singer, but I really love he's got some rasp to it. he does a really awesome kind of, a little bit more intense pop punk singing. Number 3 would be Chris Conley of Saves the Day, who was actually directly influenced by Ari Katz of Lifetime and has said so. So that's kind of fun. But Saves the Day is one of my all-time favorite bands, and I love his voice on the older albums, like Can't Slow Down, which is super pop punk, and Through Being Cool, and then even on a lot of the newer stuff where he kind of dialed it back a little bit. But I like both takes he has, and the fact that he has that versatility is really cool, and he's really solid live. Number 2 is going to be Billy Joe. Chris, I 100% agree with you. All the sentiments that you just shared, I connect with that, and then some, because I mean that's just like you said, that's an iconic voice. There is, what was the thing that I think I read so long ago about his voice? It's like an American impersonating a British person impersonating an American, or vice versa. I might have mixed that up. It's really funny, but it's, I don't know. It's just, there's something about it. Anytime I hear that, and he's gone through a lot of different eras, obviously, of his voice. All of them, I think, stand up to the test of time. Everything is just beautiful. And number 1, my favorite pop punk lead singers of all time would be Hayley Williams of Paramore, because I think she has the most incredible voice, the control, the fact that she can do like really soft, really awesome pop punk. She's one of the most talented singers I've ever seen. And we got the chance to play like one show with them, and I was just like in awe of her performance, and I always have been. So that's my number 1.
Very nice. All right. I guess that just leaves me. And Tom, you're right here. I'm sorry you're not on the list, but you're right here. You deserve to be. Okay. You deserve to be in my heart. I went with the pure nostalgia, to be honest with you. I went with the songs that I've been singing, the lead singers that I've been singing their songs since I got into this stuff in the late 90s, early 2000s, and have kind of been obsessed ever since. So couple that got left off for sure, but I'm going to go number 5, Andrew McMahon. He's had 3 different projects. He's got an amazing voice. The piano goes well with it. It's got a little rasp to it sometimes, but he's evolved over time. Love me some Andrew McMahon. Number 4, I'm giving it to Kenny Vasoli. I think that one could say that he's just got that like high pitched pop punk voice, but again, he as the records went on, he did kind of grow with them, and he does have a couple of different sounds that he makes. I didn't put Jordan on here. I feel like some people might put that high pop punk singer like Jordan, Kenny kind of in the same thing, but I think it's a little different. So Kenny gets my number 4. Number 3, I'm going Tom DeLonge. He's got the iconic voice. Where are you? You can't get away from it. I love Blink, so he's got to be on there. Number 2 goes to Mr. Ryan Key of Yellow Card. Again, he's been a great singer, and it's funny, we talked to him and he said that he didn't even know how to sing, and he had to get voice lessons after like Lights and Sounds. After 2006, he still didn't even know how to sing, but that never seemed that way to me. I always thought he sung great live. But number 1's got to go to Mr. Mark Hoppus. I love the deep, bassy part of the Blink. I think that I've never hidden that I'm a Mark guy. I love his parts. I love it best when they're both there. I think they complement each other well, but I loved him when he was in Plus 44 too. He's got that very unique, like low bassy pop punk voice, which you hear more of the high pitched than the low pitched. So my number 1's Mr. Mark.
Fair. It's a very nice. Fair list. Very fair.
Thank you.
I think that's why we continue to be hosts together, because you're the Mark to my Tom, Steve.
There you go. One more time.
I think it's only fair. So why don't we let Tom, do you want to do the next one? Do you want to intro the next list?
This is an incredible next list that I would like to introduce. I'd be happy to, Chris, because this is ranking it our top 5 High School Never Ends episodes of 2023.
Yes.
No doubt. So very specific. Top 5 High School Never Ends episodes. I cannot wait to hear your 2. Does that mean when I kick something off that Chris, you go first? That sounds accurate?
I went first last time, but I'll go first again.
Well, there's my skill down the drain. So
Steve.
I'll go first. Fine. Okay. Top 5 2023 High School Never Ends episodes. I mean, too bad our trivia thing was 2024. That probably would have been in the front, but it's all good. Number 5, I'm going to give to our episode that was entitled 2023 Look Back on One More Time, because I was looking forward to a Blink record and looking forward to talking about it. And we talked about it for 2 hours and 20 minutes, which is probably a little long for an episode runtime, but there was no way around it because we had a lot to say. Our boys were back, put out a record, had to talk about it. Number 4, I'm giving to an episode that was called 1996. And actually in this episode, we talked with a gentleman named Daniel Durston, and he wrote a Blink-182 inspired musical. And the reason why we got him on the show is that one day after seeing the Alanis Morissette musical, I decided that I wanted to write a Blink-182 musical, but then the next day Googled it and someone else already did it. He was cool enough to come on and talk to us about it. And we found out that he was a contestant on Big Brother, and a bunch of people fucking hate him because of some controversy that went on there. But because of that episode, me and Chris went back and watched the Big Brother season, which I'm not a fan of that show, but that was fun to watch because we knew the one guy, and we chatted about it for I don't know, months. Big Brother's like fucking 40 episodes a season. Anyways, number 3, I'm giving to an episode that is called Drive Through Summer Leftovers End of an Error, because we decided to cover Drive Through Records albums that we missed the first time around during Drive Through Summer 2022. Came across a band called Houston Calls, and I made this list before you were invited on the show, Tom, so I'm not pandering to you at all, but we found this album that I called it the best album that I'd never heard before, and I truly believe it. I love that album. And then from doing that, it led to us becoming friends with you, which is also awesome. So that's going to be my number 3 episode of the year. And number 2 and number 1 are going to go to 2 of our big interviews, you would call them. We interviewed Andrew McMahon. He's going to get that number 2 spot. And the episode with Ryan Key is going to be number 1, just because these are guys that I literally have been listening to for over 20 years. And they were on a Zoom call with us, and we were asking them questions, and they were very cool, answered our questions. And those were just kind of like pinch me type interviews. So that's my top 5 for the year.
How do I follow that? Unless you want to go next, Tom.
I can try. I can do my best.
Go for it.
There's a lot there, and some of these may sound
52 of them.
I don't want this to sound conceited at all, but I have to be honest with myself about the ones that really I connected with. So I think number 5 is going to be, I'm going to start with the one that you said about the end of an era, because that was the first time I got introduced to you all and started listening. And it was, it felt really special, first off, to have someone talk about this album like I've talked about before. But then, like you said, Steve, we got to kind of connect, and it was like this newfound connection that I never expected. And so the 3 of us just kind of getting to have this thing was really neat. And it got me, I understand your community and all of those things. And I think it's such a cool thing that you 2 have built. So I really appreciated that very much. Number 4, again, kind of selfishly, but the August and Everything After discussion that we got to have was so fun to go back to that album, because I hadn't ever picked it apart in my life and thought about it in that way. And I thought the Counting Crows talk was, it was a really good time, and it was very nostalgic for me to think about some of those songs hit very closely with me. So I appreciated that very much. Number 3, I really liked listening to the SLC Punk discussion that you had, because I absolutely love that movie. Talking about, I can't remember the guy's name that you talked to.
His name was Daniel.
He was from SLC, like Salt Lake City, I believe, right?
He lived there. That's why we invited him on, because he's a work colleague, and he lived there for like a year or 2.
Okay, so I really like that episode because I love that movie, and I love that. I remember at the beginning you stressed, you were like, "This made me chuckle," when you're like, "It's so punk. This is real punk, not pop punk. This is punk." I was chuckling about that. Number 2. was the Weezer Pinkerton discussion, because Chris, you found a new place in my heart for your love for Weezer, because I have a very strong love, especially for that album. And I remember listening to it, and a lot of the things you were talking about struck a chord with me, specifically like, this is that cult classic. This is that album that has just grown immensely over time. The fondness has grown immensely over time. And I've always loved that album, and I loved hearing you all discuss it, and how much you love that, Chris, was really cool. And then number one, this is where I'll give that number my favorite episode, for purposes of liking the content, but also for some of the things that happened in the episode, was the Olivia Rodrigo episode. So I was so intrigued to hear what you had to say about that, because I am a massive fan, and it got tense. And I liked that tension between the two of you, because Chris, you had a very distinct hatred for many of those songs. You were unabashedly unapologetically laying into some of those songs. And Steve, you were the voice of reason at times. And it was one of those episodes where there was a lot of tension, but it was fun to listen to. It was very enjoyable, because you could tell you two hadn't planned any of that, and there were some moments that were slightly uncomfortable, but that's fun to listen to. And I really enjoyed, and Chris, I really enjoyed that you were so honest about your feelings about that. I was a little upset at the feelings about that, but I appreciated your honesty and really liked the content. So that was my number one, the Olivia Rodrigo.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I knew when we decided to do that, it was going to be very polarizing, and I'm glad we did. And I look forward to doing more like it in the future, if that even exists out there.
Next Machine Gun Kelly album.
Oh my God. All right, top 5. Here we go. So, at the risk of sounding, repetitive, I did put End of an Era at my number 5, and everything that you guys said. That one definitely was a special episode. Not going to reiterate everything that you guys already said, but I feel exactly the same way. And hey, by the way, not just the fact that we were able to connect with you, Tom, on that one, but also I found Houston Calls. I didn't know as much about you guys before, and I ended up really enjoying the band. So that was I've done that a couple times in the 4-year tenure of this show, where I've been able to pick up a band that I did not know about before that. And I always think that's super special, because to me, like, it's easy to pick something up and kind of like, yeah, no, I like that one song. But to really get into a band specifically for the first time, hearing their music, I think that's something to really, really, really think about as a special thing. So anyway, End of an Era episode was my number 5. Number 4, and this isn't specifically, again, not because you're on this show. I just had a blast with this one. Was August and Everything After. I thought this was just such a fun conversation, and I was able to let loose a lot of the thoughts that, even though some of them nonsensical, and even though my idea of the Rankin video was asinine at best, actually it was amazing. I should take that back. I just thought that was so much fun to go through that album, an album that, once again, I was so close to growing up. So love that one. Number 3 was Weeztember Maladroit. It's probably just a factor of the fact that we're finally doing Weezer, but I also love Maladroit a lot. And I had so many things to say, so many years of pent up things to say that I was able to let loose during that episode. So Maladroit, number 3. Number 2, Ryan Key. I think Steve covered it well on why that was special to us. But, just a really cool dude, just a really great conversation with a really down to earth individual. And for us, who'd have thought that we'd be talking to lead singers, bands that we grew up listening to. So, it was a really, really cool experience to do that, and one I'll never forget. And then number 1, back to Weeztember, and that's the Blue Album. To me, like, this album just is so near and dear to everything that is Chris 183. Growing up, high school, Blue Album was just a huge part of my life. And even though this could have went to Pinkerton, it just was the first one, and it's the one that I think made the most sense to be my number one for this list. So
I thought it was going to be Wiestember, and then something else.
No, I figured you'd say that, but no, I thought there was that. I'll tell you what, 2023 was a lot of great episodes. I mean, everything from Punk Goes. There were just so many great album spotlights. A lot of stuff to look back on. So this was tough.
I have a question for you too. That I bet the listeners want to know too. Do you go back and listen to your episode in full, every episode? And if so, what do you think?
Steve, I can answer that question.
You answer first, and then I'll answer.
Can I answer for you?
You can answer for me.
I listen to every single episode back. Chris listens to no episodes back.
Not even a portion, Chris? Not even like the intro? You just let it roll. Steve, you listen to the entire front to back.
Yeah, I got to make sure that we get one, at least one stream on every episode. I got to add to that. No, I just like to hear how it sounds back. Sometimes we record episodes 1 or 2 days in advance. Sometimes we record them 2 to 3 weeks in advance. It all just depends on kind of our schedule. So sometimes and we also usually record kind of late at night. So sometimes I've go to sleep. I forget a lot of the episode. Sometimes, we have a great community in Discord. Tom, thank you for just joining it recently. Tom's in the Discord. But a lot of times the reason why I listen to it on Thursdays or Fridays, right when it comes out, is because people will start to make little comments about things that we say. And I kind of forgot what I said so I want to be able to follow along when people listen to it.
So Chris, you have not gone back and listened to any episode ever?
Oh, I don't want to say that. No, I don't want to say that. I think there have been episodes here and there that I've put on, but ultimately it just doesn't feel right to listen to myself talk that long. So I just don't want to do it, right? I just don't want to listen. But look, I mean, there have been some great episodes. Actually, I think there were a couple this year that I did go back and listen to, maybe half of them. But man, why do I got to listen to them? I live them. I'm here. I'm talking. So what do I need to listen to them for?
Just curious. Oh. That's it. We can move forward. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. It's a good question, and maybe I'm just weird for doing it. But I'd really like to know, as a whole, podcast hosts out there, how many of you guys listen to your own shows? I don't know what that answer would be. So,
what 50% of this Zoom call?
50-50. Back to me, and back to yet another really challenging list. And this one was more challenging for me. I don't know about for you guys, and I'll tell you why when you get to me, but this is the top 5 albums of the year of the millennium, the year of Y2K, the year 2000, the top 5 albums of 2000. Now, I only put albums. This is not necessarily pop punk. You can go pop punk if you'd like, but that's up to you. So we'll start with Tom, because when I'm hosting, Tom, you go first. So
you're so tricky. You're tricky with your. When you just added that in there, it didn't have to be pop punk.
Oh, you didn't realize that? Uh-oh.
No, it's okay. I came up with 5 that I absolutely adore. So there could have been 1 or 2 that might have been subbed out, but honestly, I'm happy with my list. So I shouldn't have even said that. I should have just
Olivia Rodrigo wasn't born yet.
That's awful. Okay. And true. All right. Top 5 2000 albums. Number 5 was Save the World, Lose the Girl by Midtown. I probably would have put that on my list no matter what, because I mean, that is a solid pop punk album. And when growing up in New Jersey and being a part of that scene, you heard something like that really set the bar pretty darn high when it comes to pop punk. And it was so polished and the songs were just solid. Number 4, Maybe I'll Catch Fire by Alkaline Trio, with one of the most incredible songs ever, Radio, on it. If you know that one, it's just got that, the lyrics are just jarring at times. I don't know if you're familiar with that song, but there's a line, shaking like a dog shitting razor blades. That's a line right there. I mean, come on now. That's poetry. Number 3 would be Millen Collins' Penny Bridge Pioneers, which is so crucial to my early music development. 2000, that's when I'm graduating high school. I'm listening to this album in my friend Matt's Volkswagen that he kind of just like, I don't even know how you say it. It's like jacked up. I don't know, whatever made it loud, whatever those things that kids do these days make their cars really loud. He had bass thumping, and that album is just so awesome front to back. It's got this incredible ending track called The Ballad, which I absolutely adore. Number 2, Newfound Glory, self-titled. I remember listening to this album and bought this album when I first went to college, and I would be walking to class and I had it in my headphones. And there's one song on there. I don't even remember the name of the song. Chris, I think you made this point one of those episodes I was listening to recently about Weezer. Like I love, or maybe it was Blink. I think it was Blink. I mean, like, I just don't remember the names of the songs. I listen to so much, I just have no idea what the song titles are. And there's a song, I think it's like, today is the first day of your life. Today is the first day of your life. You know that song, Steve?
Of course, yeah.
I think
I can't think of the title though. That's a tough one.
Exactly. It might be like Vegas or Sincerely Me or something. I can't remember, but it's not Sincerely.
It could be Vegas, not Sincerely Me.
Yeah, it's later on in the album. But I remember listening to that song while I'm, walking to class in college, like early on. And I'm like, this is me, first day of my life. Hey, here, I'm free. Yahoo! And so that was kind of funny. Number 1 is going to be Green Day's Warning. Also, they would make my list no matter what, I think, except for maybe the trio of albums that they did. But if we picked any year and they had an album that came out, it would be on my list. This just happens to be that album where they experimented a little bit, changed their tones a lot bit, and changed the kind of style. I think it threw a lot of people off, but there are some incredible tracks on there. Castaway is my all-time favorite on that album. I think it's just a wonderful song. And similarly, it came out around that same time as the self-titled Newfound Glory, so I was listening to it in that same era. So those would be my top 5.
Second to Last is the name of that track.
Thank you. Nice.
Figured it out.
Cool.
Chris,
what about you,
me?
Steve? No, yeah, go ahead.
Me. Okay, 2000 albums. Got it. There were a couple that I wanted to include, but they ultimately got kicked off. So I'm going to start with number 5, which is Eve 6's Horoscope. We got to talk about this. We never talked about Eve 6 before we did our Alltober, and I am a somewhat big Eve 6 fan, but I'm a really big fan of this album, and it was kind of like my summer album. 2000 was the year before I went to college, so I was like a junior going into being a senior. So I don't know, that was just one of those years where you're like almost a grown up, you have enough freedom to like drive around and do your thing, but you have a job, but you still have to come home, whatever. This was a big summer album for me. Number 4, I don't talk about it all that much, but I do like a good bit of rap, and I'm going to give Marshall Mathers LP, so I'm going out of pop punk. Pretty much there was like a 3-album run, so it was Slim Shady LP, Marshall Mathers LP, Eminem LP, that were, if you liked rap at all, like Eminem was like the big shit in the late 90s, early 2000s, and I remember like having that album on pre-order and picking it up the day it came out, just like anticipating it so much. Number 3 is an album that I walked into Tower Records and bought, even though I didn't know anything about it. It's called Hybrid Theory. It's by a band called Linkin Park, another band that is not particularly pop punk, but maybe somewhere in the vicinity of screamo, metal rock, rap. I don't know what it is, but Hybrid Theory was a fucking great album. And they had they had a 3-album run there. Hybrid Theory and trying to think of what was it, Meteora, Minutes to Midnight. I forget. Maybe I'm forgetting one, but I'm a big Linkin Park fan. Like them a whole lot. Getting back to the pop punk, I will never ever forget The first time that I heard Little Things on the radio, and then I went to a little show and I saw Good Charlotte play before their self-titled album came out in the year 2000. And I met Joel and got his autograph. And I felt like I was the only person that knew them because I happened to hear that one song before the album came out. But I am a big Good Charlotte fan, and I love their self-titled record. I think it's probably, it's their best record. So that's my number 2. And Newfound Glory's self-titled is going to be my number 1. It's my favorite Newfound Glory record for sure. I feel like it is just filled with bangers, and the ones that are, quote unquote album tracks are also really, really good. And that's it. Top 5 2000 albums. Thank you.
How good is that first track?
Better Off Dead. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's so good. And you can just go through it. It's not even close to my favorite song. I think we did an album spotlight on it. I probably didn't even make the top 3 in ranking it, but the whole album is just fucking fantastic in my opinion.
Easy stuff. You guys just breezed through this one. I thought it was going to be a little bit more difficult. Not that 2000 didn't have a lot of great albums, but I mean, I don't know. It just, maybe there were some other years that had a few more than this one, but I did mix in some different genres. And starting with number 5, I put in Outkast, Stankonia. I love this album. I bought it. It had Miss Jackson on it, which was a big hit on a lot of my mixtapes for parties for sure. Also, B.O.B. was a song on here. So just for those 2 singles alone, this was a standout. But there was a lot of other good stuff that didn't hit the radio that I would definitely say check it out. It's to me, it's my favorite Outkast album. I didn't necessarily love everything that they did, but this one specifically stood out to me. And then continuing, with the rap genre, I agree. Marshall Mathers, number 4 for me, LP. What can you say, right? Eminem's just one of the all-time greats. Whether you like rap, whether you don't, you can't deny that he's one of the most talented artists of all time for a lot of different reasons. And this album kind of backs that up. So let's big into this one. And that's my number 4. Number 3, actually, I was a huge Deftones fan, still am. And White Pony came out this year. And White Pony, for me, I really loved Round the Fur, which came out before this. But, White Pony kind of didn't take things in a completely different direction, but it was a different album. And it was more the same that I wanted, but like in a different way. So it's changed it up just enough that kept my attention. If you guys out there have never listened to this album and you like the Deftones, please take a listen, because it is phenomenal. And number 2, Green Day, Warning. I think that it's kind of already been said, Tom. I think you said it. You said it well. This isn't my favorite Green Day album by any stretch of the imagination, but I think it was definitely one of my favorites of the year 2000 when it came out. And it had to go at number 2. And then number one, I don't know if this is a cop-out or not, but the Mark, Tom, and Travis Show. I love this album. I listened to this album. It had to be like on repeat in my car most of the time. I loved everything. I memorized all the skits. I love the way that they sang the songs differently than on the normal albums. Even though it was a live album, it still sounded great. I love this one. I'm surprised they didn't ruin the CD for the amount of times I listened to it. So a lot of stuff here, a lot of stuff to choose from. I was considering Hybrid Theory, but I wasn't as big of a Linkin Park fan as you were, Steve. So it didn't hit my top 5. But that's what I got. Top 5 of 2000. Take it or leave it.
I'll take it. I like it.
Did that Blink album was that the one that had Man Overboard on it? It had the one new track on it and the rest was live. Was that song live or was that just?
I don't remember.
No, it was studio.
Album track plus live. Okay.
Yep. And they still play that like every show. Man Overboard is like a staple for them. All right, guys, we actually have a lot left to get through. So I'm going to start this one off and I'm going to talk kind of quick, because this next category is the top 5 podcasts that we also listen to. Chris, we're not allowed to put our own because I listen to my own. No?
That we also listen to. So I would say that excludes High School Never Ends.
Excluding High School Never Ends, a Pop Punk Dad podcast. Okay. I will make this relatively quick. Number 5 is a sports podcast I listen to. It's called Locked On Mets. I'm a big New York Mets fan. I love baseball, and that's like the one that I go to when like I don't listen to it that much. So spoiler alert, I listen to so much music and stuff for this show, and I also listen back to our show, as you've just learned. I don't listen to a lot of other podcasts. Every now and then, if the Mets do something big, I turn on Locked On Mets. Number 4, our friend Tyler over at All Punked Up. They do a news podcast. They actually recently changed the name of the show. I think it's called Unplugged because they want to talk about more than pop punk. But I think that him and his co-host John have a good back and forth. I kind of akin them a little bit to Steve and Chris, so I like listening to them. Number 3, Krista makes a podcast. I love listening to Chris sit down with an artist and just dissect a song, and it's made me think about songs and the way that they're written and broken down in lots of different ways, so I like it. Number 2 is a very specific podcast. It does not have a lot of episodes, but it's called A Band Called Punchline. Basically, the dudes in Punchline sat down and they made a podcast about each record that they did, each point in their band's career. And I'm a longtime Punchline fan, and they're very, very friendly dudes. We've talked to Chris Fafalios before, and I know Corey, the drummer, he's also in the emo band. And they had like a documentary on Amazon Prime or somewhere, and they're just kind of guys that seem super friendly. Like they are your friends, Pittsburgh dudes, good Pittsburgh dudes. So I like to listen to their episodes, even though they're not frequent. And number 1 is Smartless. I think it's like the biggest podcast like in the world right now. They just signed $100 million deal with SiriusXM. It's Jason Bateman, Will Arnett, and Sean Hayes. And they sit down with a random guest and they talk about bullshit, and they're really funny. So that one I do. If I'm on a long drive, I'll throw that on and listen.
Sweet. Who's next?
I could take it, Chris. I have a shorter list. There are only 4 on here. I couldn't force a 5th because there wasn't one. So let's just be real here. Number 4/5, how about that, is one called Hidden Tracks that is by a fella named Shane, who talks about some very obscure bands and highlights one each week. And I actually had the pleasure of meeting him at that Midtown show, Steve, and got to chat with him for a little bit. So I really like what he's trying to do there. And he just seems really, he's got the heart is in it, and he really just cares about getting some bands that haven't been heard. Number 3 would be Unplugged as well, or All Punked Up, because I got to throw some love to Tyler. Great guy, and John, and they do a really good job. I like the new direction that it seems like they're taking. Number 2 would be a podcast that I love to listen to called Stuff You Should Know, which is, just an informative 30, 45-minute session on a very specific topic. And it varies across the board, anything you can think of. But I think that the 2 hosts complement themselves very nicely. One's kind of like the guy who's good at looking up stuff on Wikipedia, and the other guy like knows everything before it was looked up. And they just kind of joke around a little bit. And then number 1, Steve, I actually have another in common with you, which is Krista Makes a Podcast, because I love absolutely listening to that as well. Some incredible guests that were on there for some of the songs, some of the hit singles that are on there. Just to hear about the writing behind those is really interesting, and having a musician's take on it. He gets very specific and like, first chorus, you've got this little part here. This is like, and he really pays close attention to a lot of the aspects of the specific song. It's really fun to listen to. So that's what I got.
Awesome list. So I'm going to go ahead and jump right into mine. And I will preface this by saying that, surprisingly enough, I do not have any other music related podcasts on my list, because even though aside from the All Punked Up, which I thoroughly enjoy talking to those guys, I do think they do a good job. I will not listen to any other pop punk podcast because I feel like you should listen to ours, right, Steve?
But you don't listen to ours.
So anyway, that's my thought. So, hey, if you have a pop punk podcast out there that's similar to ours, and again, Krista makes that kind of stuff that doesn't fall into this category. I'm talking more about enthusiasts and people that didn't have bands. If you have an opinion, please come on our show, because I want to debate you. So please come on our show. I want to debate you on anything that you want to talk about, especially Newfound Glory. So we're just going to get that out there right now. And if you have the guts, let us know. My number 5, I'm okay. So like Steve, he has his sports podcast. I'm big into fantasy football. I probably listen to a million hours of fantasy football focus. That's not that exciting, but that's my number 5. I just latched onto that one as a podcast I listen to. Number 4 is Talking Sopranos, because I love listening back to two of the characters from The Sopranos talk about, Christopher and Bobby Baccaliari. I forget their, I know their real names, but off the top of my head, I'm just not thinking about it. Talk about each episode in depth, and they also go into some really cool conversations. Michael Imperioli, I didn't know why I couldn't think of that. Talk to some of the characters from the show and other people that they bring on the show to talk about The Sopranos. I was a big fan. It was a big part of my life. So love Talking Sopranos. Even though it's an older podcast, I still get into it. Number 3, I'm a huge retro gaming guy. So Retronauts is, I think, one of the most well done retro podcasts that's out there. And I'm just a big fan of them. And I actually even subscribed to their Patreon because there's some really cool stuff there that's available. So Retronauts is number 3. Number 2 is similar to Talking Sopranos, but it's the Always Sunny podcast. Man, I can't. I mean, Always Sunny is one of my favorite shows of all time, and it's because of the guys and girl on the show. It's amazing what they do, and their humor is right up my alley. That's like exactly what I want to see, and that's what makes me laugh. So them talking about their own stuff is amazing. If you haven't checked it out and you like that kind of stuff, please do. And then speaking of comedy, I only found this one probably about 3 or 4 years ago, but ever since I never stopped. Honestly, like these are some of the funniest guys that I've ever encountered, but how did this get made? It's 3 guys that I think it's Paul Scheer, the one guy, Rafi
Mantzoukas.
from the league, Mantzoukas, and then Paul Scheer's wife, I think. Man, Mantzoukas is like one of the funniest guys in the world. Like it's just so good, and the way they go back and forth, the things they say, their catchphrases, the way they talk about these bad movies to begin with is just like it's magical. So check this out. That's definitely one of my favorites and my number 1 on this list.
Nice. I forgot about that one. There's that one in the rewatchables, which I've listened to, but I haven't listened to it that recently. The problem with that one is that if I don't know the movie, like there's only certain movies that I know, so I don't listen to the ones if I don't know the movie.
My favorite part of that podcast is when they do the Amazon. They read reviews off of Amazon for movies because it's like ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense what people write on there, and the way that they kind of dictate it is amazing. So go check that out. All right, so I'll take the next one here, and I think it's appropriate that I take the next one because this was a category that I really wanted to hear what you guys had to say. This is your top 5 screamo bands. Like that terminology or not, I want to hear it. Tom, what's your top 5 screamo bands of all time?
I'm really scared to answer this one because I don't even know what a screamo band truly is anymore. So I'll do the best that I can.
Do your best, yeah.
Chris, I'm going to watch your face when I name some of these off. So if I see you cringe when I name one of them, I'll know that I did a poor job of defining it. But number 5 would be a band called Madison, who was out in New Jersey, and they were on Drive-Thru for a very short amount of time. We were close buddies with them, and it's screamo if it has any screaming. Is that accurate enough? Is that good? Are we good there?
I think you can. Yeah, it's based on opinion. I mean, it has to be more than just once on a song. So as long as it's in the mix, I think we can take it.
All right, cool. Then I think I'm going to be good on most of these. Maybe not all, but number 4, can I go My Chemical Romance? Is that allowed?
Yeah, I mean, look, I wouldn't consider it, but I think if you feel that way, then it's allowed. So
thanks for
agreed
acknowledging my feelings. All right, no, I'll just keep moving along. Number 3 is the band called Senses Fail. Number 2, I'll go with The Used, and specifically, I'll think about that self-titled 2002 album. That's screamo. Come on now. And number 1, this is the questionable one, but they scream enough that I would consider it. but Thrice is my number one screamo band. I don't know if I ever would have called them that when I was listening to them, but looking back, I'll put them in there. And sorry to Thrice if they don't consider themselves that, but I think they're a phenomenal band.
Awesome list. No, I'm with you. The only one I'm not sure about is My Chemical Romance, but this is our own opinions, and I think if that's your opinion, then it's good to go. So
Thanks, Chris.
Thrice is good. All right, so Steve, I can imagine you're gonna set the land speed record on this one. So I'm gonna go ahead and
yeah. Listen, I like some screamo. I'm not dedicated to the art of screamo, but I've enjoyed some, so I can try and set the land speed record. Number 5, I'm going to give it to Hidden in Plain View. I don't know if they're officially considered screamo, but we listened to their record. We talked to one of their dudes this year. That was fun to listen to, so I'll give that to them. Number 4, I'm going also on Drive Thru Records. Finch. I think screamo wise, Finch deserves to be up there. Number 3, Senses Fail. Number 2, Hawthorne Heights. They lost their resident screamer after their first album, but I think I still do kind of consider them somewhat screamo. And then number 1 is going to be Story of the Year.
Cut my wrist, black my eyes, right?
Come on, black my eyes.
Yeah, that's
screamo.
Are you okay?
Oh, we're not okay.
We promise.
Oh, I get it. Okay, top 5. This was tough. I'm gonna go with a lesser known band and a band that I talked about many times on the show. So number 5 for me is Calling All Captains. This is a Canadian band. We had them on the show. I love their music. I think they might only have the 1 album or maybe 1.5 and a couple EPs. But man, they sound amazing, and I can't wait for them to come to my neck of the woods to see them live. So number 5 for me is Calling All Captains. Number 4 is Hawthorne Heights, for a lot of great reasons. I don't feel like I need to reiterate that. You guys said a lot of stuff about Hawthorne Heights. Number 3, Story of the Year. It just kind of goes throughout my life. This band, hits a lot of chords. Go back and listen to the Story of the Year episodes, both of them, if you want to hear my thoughts on this band and why they are so special to me. Number 2 is Senses Fail. Senses Fail is just awesome. I don't know if there's an album that I don't like, and I definitely know enough to be able to put them in order on trivia.
That's true. Got that one right.
And number 1 by far is The Used. I can't say. I mean, look, live, these guys are amazing. And I think honestly, Tom, that's why I picked 2022 for chord, is because that's the first time I ever saw The Used live. And Bert was, I don't even know how to describe the performance he put on. He has this cackle that he does when he laughs. It sounds like the Joker, and like he split the crowd in half, and everybody, like, it was an awesome show. And I love The Used and their music. And I'll never forget when my younger 2 twins, the twins, boy and girl, when they were probably just old enough to walk, I would put on one of the Used songs, and they would both like sway back and forth to it, like together, when they were just little babies. And I could not believe it. Hey, watch this. When I put this song on, they're going to sway. And I put it on, they like sway back and forth. Now I put it on and they're like, what is this? What are you playing? They're not swaying anymore, but just a memory I have that I thought was worth sharing. But love The Used, love their music, and it's number 1 for me. So
I love that memory. I think that's great. That's a good way to remember that band. We all 3 had a lot of common responses on that one, right?
Screamo is only, so deep, but we did have a lot of different ones.
That one. Yeah.
Don't downplay
next one.
Don't downplay my screamo band, Steve, by saying they're only so deep. How dare you? How dare you?
Yes. Tom, go ahead.
Yeah, let's go into the top 5 cover songs by any band. And I'm going to, before when you threw me that 2000 curveball, Chris, I think it's just because I listen to mostly punk and pop punk music. I don't have a wide variety in my repertoire. So you're going to hear that come through in this discussion for the top 5 covers by any band. But anytime I introduce something, I think, Steve, you got to go now.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm ready to go. And it's funny. We've had a lot of discussions on covers. Obviously, we talked about the Punk Goes records. We talked about a lot of those records, but there's a lot more covers out there other than that. And for me, this was kind of hard. Like my top 3 really easy, but like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like so many, and it's kind of hard to research it or think about it because there's just so much out there. All of mine are pop punk. I'll just put it out there. I think I want to throw an honorable mention in there just because I'm thinking about it. Mustard Plug does a great cover of the song "The Freshman," and I don't know where it is or lives or anything, but I love that one. Number 5 is a cover that I really loved, like when I was in college, and I don't hear it much or listen to it much anymore. But Less Than Jake did a version of "I Think I Love You." I think I love you, so what am I so afraid of? Afraid that I'm not sure. It's really, really good. And to me, a good cover is that you make it sound different enough from the source material, but you still maintain some of that integrity so you know what it is. Having said that, moving on. Number 4, we just talked about this song a little bit recently. I'm going with one of Chris's favorite bands, Goldfinger, and their cover of 99 Red Balloons, 99 Luftballons. Again, I think they did a really good job changing that 80s song in its entirety and making it a fun pop punk jam. So numbers 3, 2, and 1 for me were easy to think of just because like I have my go-to top 3 favorite covers. Number 3 is Everywhere by Yellow Card. That's on, I think, Punk Goes Pop. Michelle Branch. It's fantastic. To that effect, number 2 is the starting lines "I'm Real," which is, to me, I guess it's the second best cover song ever because they take that song and they completely transform it. You don't know what you're listening to until that chorus hits, and then boom, you're like, holy shit, this is really good. And number 1, I think, is kind of a lesser known cover. It's by Phoenix TX, and it's Duran Duran's "Ordinary World." If you're trying to look it up on Spotify, it's under River Phoenix, one word. It does live there somewhere. I think it's on a Duran Duran cover tribute something album. But for some reason, when I was like, I don't know, whenever "Ordinary World" came out, like mid 90s, I remember seeing the original like Duran Duran video somewhere. And then when I heard this cover for the first time, for some reason, it just stuck with me. And I'm a fan of Phoenix TX. So there it is. Tom, who's next?
Wow,
Yourself
okay.
or Chris? You're making the call on this one.
Oh, I dictate this. Well, Chris, why don't you take it away?
Okay. All right. So, man, this was so hard because I have a jumbled mess of songs and I'm not sure I even put them in order. But and ladies and gentlemen, I really, really, really wanted to put "Faith" by Limp Bizkit in this list because I did like that song at one point in time. However, I don't like that song as much anymore. So I feel like the years have been unkind to my opinions. Even though, hey, there's a lot of good things to say about that band. We'll get into that another day. Let's talk about my top 5. So I think, first of all, Alien Ant Farm did a cover of "Smooth Criminal." And even though they played this one into the ground, I really love this one. I really thought it was great. The repetition of it kind of ruined it for me, but definitely one of the best covers I had heard up to that point. And not so much in technique. It's cool to hear "Smooth Criminal" sung by a band like that and put into those terms. I don't think that I ever heard anything like it at the time. It was the first time that maybe I heard, kind of what would you consider Alien Ant Farm? Are they pop punk or more of like just alternative?
I would call it, alt rock.
Alt rock. Okay. So that's that. So that's number 5. Number 4, I'm going to go with "The Man Who Sold the World" by Nirvana. The Nirvana Unplugged episode for me was outstanding, amazing, all the above. It was definitely one that had an impact on me. I love the Unplugged series, but Nirvana was a big part of my high school life. And that cover was very haunting. It was so well done. I think it was a cover of a David Bowie song. I know it was, actually. So love that cover, number 4. Number 3 was "Boys of Summer." I almost put this at number 1, but then I dropped it down a couple slots. So "Boys of Summer" by the Ataris. I just like the original, and I think they did a great job with the cover. So not much more to say about that. Number 2 was Weezer cover. It was not Africa, actually. I liked Rosanna better, even though Africa definitely wasn't bad. They did Rosanna, also Toto's song, first when they dropped that to kind of tease Africa, because that's what everybody wanted. And I thought Rosanna really did well. It was the first time I heard Weezer cover anything like that. And it was a mind-blowing experience. So I'm going to put that at number 2. And at number 1, I'll go everywhere with you. I'll go everywhere. Yellow Card. I thought it was a great cover. I thought it was amazing. Steve put it out there. I'm going to pick up what he's putting down. Yellow Card, everywhere is my number 1.
Oh man, that's a good list. I like all those. I'll rock it through mine. How about this? They're all pretty similar, but number 5, I'm gonna put "Turning Japanese" by No Use for a Name, which is one of the first cover songs I heard on like a punk album way back when, and that got me into this whole pop punk cover thing. Number 4 is also this was from a Fat Records compilation. It was "Country Roads" by Me First and the Gimme Gimmes. They're doing John Denver, and
they were great.
Yeah, and the cover is really fun. It's simple, but it's just like that song is really slow and just kind of drawn out. And this is just like an amped up version of it, so it's really cool. Number 3 was actually a Weezer cover as well, Chris, from that Teal album. But I really like "Stand By Me." That one really, I just felt chills when I listened to it. I really like that song, but I just really liked hearing his voice sing that song. I really enjoy. I didn't do anything wild in the song, but it's one of those covers that's just you feel really good about. Number 2 would be "The King of Wishful Thinking" by Newfound Glory. I mean, they have such an extensive list of covers that I could probably pick any one out. I almost picked the one from Titanic on their first "From Your Screen to the Stereo." But "King of Wishful Thinking," just a solid song by Go West, the original from Pretty Woman, or what. I loved that version, and then I loved their take on it. And then number 1, this is really weird for me because I don't know any other song by this band at all, and I never even heard the band. But the cover song is I guess it's from Punk Goes Pop, one of those, and it's by Pierce the Veil, and it's "Just the Way You Are," and it is just like overproduced to the level that I'm just so into it because I don't. I mean, that's like a screamo band, right? They have some.
Yeah, they're pretty big in that scene.
And I heard this cover. It was only a couple of months ago, and it has just stuck with me. Like, they did such a good job. I feel it. So that's my number 1.
Because you're amazing, just the way you are. And you
That's
know
right.
what? We're gonna change that playlist that we talked about in the beginning. This is gonna be a playlist of all of our favorite, any Rankin' It songs that we say, including this one and the next one. We're gonna put them all there. It's gonna be a fucking great playlist in the episode notes.
We're gonna do wasn't that the original plan or no?
Oh, I just said we were gonna do the top 5 punk songs 2023, a playlist of that, but it's gonna be this episode's.
No. Yes, it has to be the entire episode's worth of probably 500 songs we're talking about here.
Just the ones where we say specific songs, not like the whole albums and stuff like that. Just a song playlist.
Steve, what he was saying was that was his original idea.
Yeah,
he just
apparently it was.
It was like his brainchild that hadn't come out yet.
It took me some time to come around to the idea. Yeah.
You never listen to Chris. Never listen to Chris.
I do my best.
Well, talking about, speaking of listening to Chris, this is my turn once again, I think. Am I taking it back too soon, or is this your turn, Steve?
Go ahead.
I think it is your turn. Take it away. Let's keep it going.
I don't even remember these turns and stuff like that. All right, but I have the list of what we're doing. And the 80s were a good decade because I was born in the 80s. So we're going to do our top 5 80s songs. And how the hell do you come up with 5 songs from an entire decade? This was really hard for me. I will explain how I did it. But first, we're going to go to Tom. Tom's going to kick us off.
You're right. This was ridiculous. Chris, this is an unfair ask, honestly. Because then when you think of 80 songs, I think of a certain vibe. But then you're just saying a song that came out in the 80s, so it doesn't have to fit that vibe. And there's so many. I mean, we're talking a ridiculous amount to choose from. So this is not an exhaustive list, but I'm going to do my best. I stuck to 5, but I know there's so many more on here. Number 5 will be "Listen to Your Heart" by Roxette. And I won't even try to sing them. We'll just add them to the list. They're going to be fun to listen to. I try to channel my inner. You seen that movie, The Great Outdoors, with Dan Aykroyd and John Candy? I don't know if I can't remember if that came out in the late 80s. I believe it did, but every song I wanted to feel like I was in that movie at some different scene, because there's a lot of different vibes going on in that movie. But I thought, how can I make my own playlist of The Great Outdoors? So "Listen to Your Heart" by Roxette is number 5. I still haven't found What I'm Looking For by U2 is number 4. I Think We're Alone Now by Tiffany is number 3. Don't You Forget About Me by Simple Minds is number 2. So we're talking Breakfast Club, if you didn't know that song the second I said it. And then number 1, I picked What a Feeling by, I think it's Irene, is it Cara? It's from Flashdance.
I don't think I know that one.
You would if
what
you
a feeling.
Yeah.
You believe in.
I'll tell you the verse that starts the song.
Thank you, Chris.
You get into this verse, Steve, and I'm right there in Great Outdoors, and I'm feeling the 80s vibe. And then the chorus it changes a little bit. So it's really soft at the beginning, and then it kind of picks up in the chorus. But both parts are phenomenal. And I think it just fully encapsulates an 80s vibe with all the synth and all the other stuff going on in there. That's what I got.
All right, Chris, you're up next.
All right, so we're gonna kick things off with a little bit of OMD. That's orchestral maneuvers in the dark, whatever the hell that means. This is a song from the movie Pretty in Pink, and it's "If I Leave." To me, like every time this song kicks in, I just want to sing it. I just want to dance. Love this one. Number 5 for sure. This is tough because I had like 15 honorable mentions, but we're gonna try. Number 2, from the movie Goonies. This was on the soundtrack. A lot of people didn't know that, but it's an amazing song by an amazing artist, Cyndi Lauper. It's the one that wasn't Madonna, right? It was the other one that was just as popular, but maybe not as much. But the song is good enough. And this video is amazing because it starred all of these wrestlers from the 80s, like the Iron Sheik and Roddy Piper. And the song itself, it had the Goonies in it in the video. Amazing song. Love it. Go check it out if you haven't yet. Number 3 was The Outfield, Your Love. How could you not like this song? It's just, I don't know. Maybe they're a one-hit wonder. Maybe it's their only song. Maybe they had 2 hits. I don't know. I don't care. Everybody loves The Outfield. Every time this song would come on, even at parties, people would go nuts. I love it. Definitely belongs in the top 3. Number 2 is a song by Hall & Oates, and that's Out of Touch. I don't like a ton of Hall & Oates songs, but for some reason, just the synth and the sound of this song in particular just hits. It hits every single time. The first time I really got into this song, surprisingly enough, is playing Grand Theft Auto Vice City, where it had an 80s soundtrack, and this was on it, and I just never looked back. So Hall & Oates, Out of Touch. And number 1, and this is because of my affinity, and this isn't the best song of the 80s, but it is my favorite song on this list for today, because I think this 80s list is going to change every single day. But I got to harken back to something nostalgic for me, and that's my connection with the movie Old School and the cover of this song, but the original song too, Total Eclipse of the Heart by Bonnie Tyler. Not only did I love the way that the Dan Band did this song in the movie Old School, but I actually had them play this song as my bridal dance at my wedding because of that movie, because I just wanted to do it. And even though it made no sense, and it's probably about breaking up, and people that were listening to it probably thought that, I don't care. It was awesome, and it was a great moment, and I love this song. So that's my number 1.
Was the fucking in there? I fucking need you.
I didn't play the Dan
ever.
Band version. No, we didn't play that song. We wanted to, but it just didn't feel like it was going to be appropriate. So
that's a great scene. That's a great scene. That's a great list. Again, this is a tough list. So the way that I approached this list was I pretty much just kind of picked my favorite artists from the 80s and picked a song that would represent my love for the artist. And I do have one I gotta leave out, but I gotta say, I really like Starship's "We Built This City." That's one song that stands out. That I don't care about the band, but I really do like that song. I remember my mom playing it in the car, and I like that one. I always liked Starship.
Can I get in there real quick? Because the one thing I remember, I'll never forget as a child, like that video, and when Abraham Lincoln stands up from his seat on the Lincoln Memorial and sings "We Built This City." Like that's amazing and iconic to me. So
I don't know the video, but now I think I have to watch it. I just know the song.
Yeah, please watch it immediately.
Houston Calls needs to cover that song. Then it will be in our favorite covers. Okay, number 5 then, since I honorable mentioned that bad boy. I have to go with the song that is really easy to sing along to when I am drunk and in a tavern, a bar, a party. I think Journey's Don't Stop Believin' deserves a top 5. It's a cheesy ass song, but you can't say you don't like it. You can't say you won't sing to it. So I'm going to stick that one in there. If there's like a quintessential 80s song, to me, that's at least one of them. And again, 4, 3, 2, 1, I'm going with artists that I really love from the 80s, and I'm picking a song. So number 4 is going to be The Police, and my favorite Police song is King of Pain. So I'm giving them the number 4. Number 3 has to go to my Jewish friend from Long Island in Mr. William Joel, and We Didn't Start the Fire was such an iconic 80s song.
Sure that wasn't 90s?
I'm looking it up on Spotify right now. 1989.
So Stormfront. Oh, and you cut it really close. Okay.
You said 80s, 89.
Okay, right.
I don't know the release date.
It was an early release on Spotify a couple weeks before the album came out.
Advanced release.
Yeah.
And you know what? If that one didn't qualify, I would have just picked another Billy Joel song because I love Billy Joel. So that was number 3. We Didn't Start the Fire.
Doo-wop Joel, Steve. We only play doo-wop Joel.
Are you fact checking this, Chris, while we're listing these off? Like, because I saw you making faces while I was reading some of mine too. Like, is that actually
maybe a little bit? Maybe a little bit. Go ahead, Steve. Sorry, I keep interrupting you, but it's just so many good things to say. So.
All good interruptions. Number 2. So like one of my favorite old school all time favorite bands is Aerosmith. And originally I was going to say Dream On, but Dream On came out in the 70s, so that one's off the list. So I'm going to go with what actually might be one of my favorite Aerosmith songs. I'm going to go with the song Angel. I think it was off of Permanent Vacation. It's a ballad. Probably not a lot of people's favorite Aerosmith song, but I really love that one. So Angel by Aerosmith is going to be number 2. And number 1, again, it's probably not a song that a lot of people know, but I am a big fan of Prince, or the artist formerly known as Prince. But back in the 80s, he was Prince. He released a double record called Sign of the Times. And my absolute favorite song as a kid was a song called I Could Never Take the Place of Your Man. And the sentiment and the lyrics and what it was about was definitely way over my head. I understand it now, but that song fucking kicks ass. And on this playlist, I don't know if I'll put the 7-minute version or the 4-minute version. I'll see what's on the Spotify's, but that's a kick-ass jam by Prince. So that's my number 1.
Nice. That was a really, Chris, I love that category. Thank you. But I also need to ask, why'd you make that wild, wacky face when I said U2? Do you have an extreme distaste for U2, or were you on board with me?
Chris is the guy who climbed the sphere a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, right. No, I don't. I was making the face because it just brought into my head, like, wow, did I forget like 15 songs that I wanted to add to my list that for some reason U2 like just sparked that part of my brain that brought back all of these songs that I forgot about. So the Joshua Tree, but it was probably my favorite album. Is that in the 80s or is that the 90s? Okay.
Come on now. You think I didn't fact check before? I know your style. I'm not going to come on here not knowing my stuff.
Love the Joshua Tree. I don't know about anything like actually later 90s. I wasn't a fan of U2 stuff as much, but the Joshua Tree was definitely the pinnacle in my mind. So
I'm sorry, I got to highlight one of your picks too, but the Goonies song, and New Found Glory did a cover of that. You know that, right?
Yes, they did.
That song was covered by New Found Glory on the first From Your Screen to Your Stereo.
Of course they did.
Of course they did. And I'm sure it didn't do it enough justice in your mind, but it's okay. It's a great song. Good pick. Sorry.
Fair enough.
Moving forward.
And a great movie.
Yes.
All right. This next one should be an easy one for all of us here. And if you're listening out there, and I know this has been This has been a mammoth episode so far, but we knew it was going to be, right? We knew this was going to be a big one. If you need to take a break, don't, because you're going to miss out on some of the best stuff upcoming. Like there's some really cool lists here that we're going to get to. Don't do that. Don't do that. We already had some great stuff. It's some awesome stuff, even better coming up. So next, we're going to have the top 5 albums for those of you that are fans of the show. We did this last time, and we're doing it again in a different way. The top 5 albums or bands. Okay, let's do albums or bands. I'm just going to make it easy in case you guys didn't get albums. Albums or bands you've been waiting patiently for us to do on this show, and this includes Steve and I's opinion on what those should be. Okay, but I think that even though I always defer to Tom, we're going to mix it up, and no, we're not. We're going to go to Tom first because I want to know what he thinks from an opinion of a guest on the show. Tom, what are 5 albums or bands that you have been waiting patiently for us to do?
I had to go back and make sure I didn't miss something. So you're gonna, if I'm wrong, correct me, please. But I had 2 bands and a couple of their albums that I really wanted to hear you both talk about a lot. The bands were Blink-182 and Green Day. I wanted you to visit a lot of their albums. I think you did Dookie, right, way back. But I don't think you did any other Green Day albums. Is that correct?
Correct.
No, that's not correct.
That's not correct? What was the other album?
We did Insomniac.
Oh, that's right. We did.
Okay, well, I want you to visit the first 2 albums. So I want you to revisit 39 Smooth or 1039 Smooth, that's Slappy Hours. And I want you to visit Kerplunk. So that would be 5 and 4. And then I really want you to visit Nimrod as number 3 because that has a lot of tracks, a lot of great stuff on there. So those 3 Green Day albums. Blink-182, where are we there? I know you've done the new album.
All of them. We did them all.
You've done every single album?
Yeah, man.
Wow,
Winter of Blink 2021.
We didn't do Buddha.
We didn't do Buddha. We didn't do Fly Swatter. We did everything else.
All right, well, let's keep going with the Green Day train then, because I know that you haven't done that.
Uno, dos, and tres.
Because in my notes, I actually wrote all Green Day in order. I didn't know you had done Insomniac, but I knew you had done Dookie. So why don't you pick it up and go on with Warning then, Chris? And then I would love to hear American Idiot. So there you go. My number 1 would be American Idiot because that's a beast as well. You've got a lot of work to do.
It's a lot to unpack.
Yeah, and I know you've got a lot of listeners that have affinities for Green Day. Punkish Dad, I know he's covering Green Day songs all the time. He'd be a solid person to talk about that. He's killing it at Jeopardy. I give him props. He's following me on Instagram. We're good.
But the problem with Green Day is that it doesn't match to a month. There's no month that starts with G. You know, we just this alliteration has just got us boxed in.
Wake me up when September ends. You can go with that. I mean, Green Day. There you go.
Put that in your pocket, Chris.
Tom, I'm with you. Just wait, because I'm not going to say anything. Go ahead.
All right, cool. That's what I got.
Okay.
Am I next or you next, Chris?
I can go. All right. So Hot Mulligan's on my list for sure. The You'll Be Fine album is the one that I like the best. And that's the one I've been waiting patiently for not very long, but long enough that I would definitely want to do on this show. Neck Deep is another one that we've been talking about for a long, long time. And I like Life Is Not Out to Get You. That's probably the one that I would choose for this show to review first. So that would be number 4. Number 3 is could be an Alttober, it could be something else, but I'd love to do a Nirvana album. I know we've never done that here on the show. And if I were going to pick one, it's going to be In Utero, because not that I don't like Nevermind. It's just, I just prefer In Utero a little bit more. So that would be the one that I would choose. Number 2, Tom, I do not know how you saw my sheet here, but I did have old Green Day as a category, and specifically it was 1,000 and what was it, 1,059 39. It's been a while, but
Slappy
Hours. I can tell you what, like, I listened to that song, I listened to that entire album. It had to be 94, maybe 95, I don't know, but I love that album. And that was wasn't that a compilation of 2 different albums?
It's a compilation of more than 2. It was So 39 Smooth was the LP that came out, and then there
Yeah.
was 1,000 Hours and a Slappy EP. So I think it was those three connected.
Love that one. Love that one. I love Kerplunk too, but they're both amazing. Definitely on my list. Definitely read my mind on that one. And then number one would be Back to Weezer, and I want to cover the Green Album. It's just one that didn't make the cut this past time, and I definitely want to cover it next time we come around to that genre or band. Steve, what do you got?
Well, I'm glad you said Neck Deep because I was thinking it, but it did not make my list. So I'm glad that you said it. Number 5. So it's funny for us to say what we've been patiently waiting for us to do, because it's kind of just like, what are our thoughts? Like, what are the things that we have in our back pocket that we want to do? I would like to do a Bloodhound Gang album. I'd like to discuss Hooray for Boobies. That would have been really good for February Folly, now that we think of it. But that ship has sailed, so we'll find another time. But I love the Bloodhound Gang, and I think Hooray for Boobies is probably their best one. Number 4, how the fuck is our name? High School Never Ends, and we have never dedicated one episode to Bowling for Soup. I'll tell you guys why out there. We want to get Jared Reddick on the show. He said he'll come on. We haven't gotten him on yet, but we're kind of saving it. We want to talk to Jarrett about Bowling for Soup. We did talk to Rob Felicetti about Bowling for Soup, but we've never dedicated like a full album to a full episode to a Bowling for Soup album. So I guess it would be Drunk Enough to Dance if it had to be an album, but we should talk about them. Number 3, haven't spoken about them a whole lot. Not super pop punk, more chill, but after John Nolan left Taking Back Sunday, he formed a band called Stray Light Run, and their first album was phenomenal. I would like to talk about Stray Light Run. Number 2, last year during You Pick 'em June, we had like a rap category, but we kind of abandoned it because not a lot of people voted, and we went with something else. But I would like to talk about an Eminem album. I said that I love Eminem. Chris, you put Eminem on your list, I think for 2000. Any album, I don't care which one. I'd like to talk about Eminem. And number 1, one of my favorite bands. I don't know that we'll actually do it because not a lot of people that I know or in my circle actually listen to them. But like this band Ludo out of St. Louis is fucking amazing. And I've talked about them a little bit here and there, but to deep dive one of their albums, any one of them, I probably would be pretty happy to do it. Their biggest album, I think, is called You're Awful, I Love You. But Ludo would be my number 1 album I've been patiently waiting for us to tackle.
It's a strong list. That's a very strong list. Nice job.
Thank you. I feel good about that list.
Yeah.
This is good. We've got lots of possibilities.
We got 2025 now all figured out, right? 2024 and 25 figured out. So
yeah, everything just has to be like alliteration. That's very important. Alliteration.
And Jared Reddick, I don't know. Maybe if we get 500 signatures, let's get signatures. Maybe.
Jared Reddick will be on here at some point. We just have to coordinate it. He goes on tour. He's got a country music career. He's got Bowling for Soup. They're in the UK. They're in the United States. Dude's busy. We'll track him down eventually.
Fair enough. All right. We are down to it, ladies and gentlemen. We only have a couple categories left to go through. I know we're almost to the close, but still some good stuff left, even though Wingman Steve maybe doesn't think so. But I think because my name is Chris 183 and because you know me so well, you know that I like to veer off topic a lot. I love it. It's my favorite thing to do. So these next several categories, 3 categories specifically, are unrelated completely to music or anything that we've talked about on the show before. Maybe we brought it up, and we probably have, but these are unrelated. So get ready, strap in, because this is going to be a very, very heated debate. Maybe not so, but I'm sure we're going to have differing opinions. This first one, Steve and Tom, what is your top 5 favorite candy, not including chocolate, of all time?
Oddly specific.
Threw me for a loop on that one. It's hilarious.
Tom, as always, you can kick us off.
All right, I'll go. Top 5 favorite candy that's not chocolate. All right. I didn't know if I'd have to come up with like specific brand names, but this is free flowing, so we'll just go with it. I'm a huge peanut butter fan, so there's a couple things in here that are peanut butter related. Number 5 would be just peanut butter fudge in general. Number 4 would be Tom's peanut butter logs. They're those hard candies that are you've probably find them in like Cracker Barrel and places like that.
It's just a log of peanut butter?
No, it's not. It's like a hard candy almost, but it's peanut butter flavored. It's got a brown stripe and it's kind of white. It gets stuck in your teeth so badly. Like it's one of those candies, but it's so tasty. It kind of it's odd consistency.
Tom, do you like your peanut butter smooth or crunchy? I need to know this.
Smooth all the way,
Okay,
day long. Pulp-free orange juice, smooth peanut butter.
It's like we're in Groundhog. You remember that scene in Groundhog Day where he's reciting the things that she does? No white chocolate.
Yes. Number 2 and 3 are actually very related. Number 3 would be Jelly Belly toasted marshmallow flavored jelly beans, and number 2 would be buttered popcorn flavored jelly beans. So I'm going to give them each their own number right there, ranking. And number 1, my top favorite candy of all time. I actually discovered this in Japan and thought at that time, or I think at that time, actually, it was only available in Japan. It is now produced over here. It's called Haichu. And it is like a Starburst-esque kind of, about it. It's a candy that is
delicious.
Like almost too chewy. That kind of gets stuck in your teeth. But the flavor explosion is just immense and beautiful.
It's like creamy. The kids in school, like my daughter, like her friends like have Haichus in school like all the time.
I like when I had that in Japan for the first time, it blew my mind. I was like, this is the greatest candy I've ever had. I'm bringing as much home as I can because I know I'm not going to be able to find it. And then 7 years later, it was produced. And I actually think there's a plant like 45 minutes from me in North Carolina, Morinaga, I think maybe the producer that I've driven about. They didn't make the Haichu. Stop there. So it's great.
Yeah.
Nothing from Buc-ee's, I guess.
No, I only know that in theory. I've never actually been to a Buc-ee's.
Wow. I've been there once or twice. It's amazing.
I've been there once just to look. All right. Steve.
Okay, top 5 candies of all time, not chocolate. It's tough. A lot of the candies and the Halloween stuff has the chocolate, but I'm playing along. Number 5, I'm going with Peeps. I don't care if it's a holiday or not a holiday. I like them little sugar marshmallow boys. Them Peeps. Those are good. I don't care what flavor. They're all pretty good. They're just garbage and sugar put together. Number 4. I'm going with flavored Tootsie Rolls. Specifically, I would say vanilla. I like the vanilla flavored Tootsie Roll. People say vanilla is vanilla. It's plain, but it's delicious. Number 3, I'm going with Skittles. I think was a Taste the Rainbow. I don't think you can go wrong with Skittles. Number 2, I'm going with Peach Rings. Obviously these are all sugar based because if it's not chocolate, it's got to be a ton of sugar. And I don't eat a lot of this shit because I try and keep my sugar down as a middle-aged man. I try not to get the diabetes, but go ahead, Chris, you're looking to say something.
No.
Oh,
I'm listening.
Okay. I thought you were about to say it. So number 1, my favorite candy probably of all time. And I realize this may cause some debate because it's not chocolate, but it's chocolate flavored. If you've ever had chocolate Twizzlers, they are fucking fantastic. They don't come in the small Twizzler pack. They come in you got to buy a big pack of them. But chocolate Twizzlers, it's not chocolate flavored. They are amazing, and I cannot buy them because I would eat the whole fucking thing in one night because they're that delicious.
There's no debate. It's not chocolate.
Okay, I wasn't sure if I was gonna, spark a controversy.
I don't love it. I think it's cutting corners, but I think you can't debate the fact that it's the chemical that's making the taste, not the chocolate.
And that makes me feel worse about myself for ever eating it because it's just chemicals. It's chemicals that are killing us. All this candy is terrible. Don't eat candy, anybody.
Oh, stop it. Come on, kids.
So
eat
bad.
No, it's fine. Anything in moderation.
You're right.
I don't need a lot of this stuff, but I love it so much. Top 5. Now follow me. You have to hear me out on this one. My number 5.
Uh-oh.
Listen, because there is some merit to it. So you're not supposed to eat these like candy, but Luden's cough drops, the cherry ones. You cannot tell me that they do not taste like cherry candies. And every time that I would be given a box of them, they would do nothing for my cough, but they would be delicious and I would eat them all. So is that safe? Probably not. I don't know, but it tastes good.
I just got those for my daughter like last month because she had a sore throat.
They're really good. They're really cherry. I love them. They're better than Halls. Maybe not as far as like the usefulness of them. Number 4 are just plain gummy worms. I love gummy worms. I always have. And I'm talking about just the regular, just fruit flavored gummy worms. I don't mind sour ones either, but they're just so good. I could eat them all the time. Maybe not stale ones. That's probably not as good, but gummy worms is number 4. Number 3, and again, follow me on this one. Werther's Originals. I'm a big fan of butterscotch. And you can't say butterscotch with that.
Chris is actually 87 years old.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
When in the world did that only the elderly can like Werther's Originals? Where did that come from?
They're
Why do they
delicious.
get to have that?
I agree with you.
Yes. Don't take that away from me. Number 2 is Sour Patch Kids. I think that's pretty common, right? But I love it, right? I love sour, fruit flavored. Can't get away from them. Probably eat too many of them in one sitting. If you have a bag, I think I bought a 1 pound bag like 6 months ago, and I didn't eat it all because I wouldn't be in really good shape if I did. But they were good, the ones I ate. And my kids leave me the green and yellow ones, by the way, when they get them. So
understandable.
But I like the yellow ones. And number 1, speaking of the yellow ones, my number 1 favorite candy is, drumroll please, lemon heads. I love lemon heads. They're just the best. You chew them, you chew like the outer edge of it that's all lemony, and then you get to the center and it's sweet. I'm a big lemon guy. I love lemons. That's why I would put them in number 1, and they never get old to me. So that's my top 5 list of best candy of all times, not chocolate.
How about that? No Starbursts, no Airheads. I mean, High Chews and Airheads, very similar, but, Starbursts are pretty high. I'm surprised nobody put them.
I think Airheads taste like plastic, so I never liked Airheads.
Fair enough. No Warheads. You didn't want to destroy your mouth with sour or hot.
I've eaten a ton of them, but I wouldn't put them in my top 5.
All right. Well, I'll introduce this next category, which is following in a similar but different vein. And Chris came up with these categories. So I'm going to make you go first, Chris. You're going back to back. We want to know what your top 5 breakfast cereals are. First off, do we all eat cereal for breakfast?
I have.
I've
eaten cereal for breakfast. Yeah.
Consistently. It's not on my list, though. The one that I eat.
I'm sorry. Oh, because you eat it for health reasons, not for.
I eat Cheerios for breakfast, but my guilty pleasures will come out in the top 5.
Heart health only. Yeah, I don't. My daughter has just gotten into eating a lot of different cereals. She was never a cereal person, and now all of a sudden she is. And I think when I was a kid, I ate a lot of cereal, but I don't eat any cereal now at all. So I'm curious what everybody's got. Chris, why don't you go ahead?
All right, so we're going to start number 5 with the continuity here is unbelievable, but number 5 is Cheerios. How can you not have this in your top 5? The taste of Cheerios and milk together, to me, is one of the best tastes in the world. I don't know why, because by themselves, Cheerios kind of taste like nothing. And I'm talking about plain Cheerios. I'm not talking Honey Nut Cheerios. I'm talking just run-of-the-mill regular. I just think it's refreshing. It tastes good. And so definitely number 5, not the best. Obviously, there's better than that, but Cheerios, number 5. Number 4, Fruity Pebbles. I love the way it makes the milk taste at the end. I wait until the Fruity Pebbles sink to the bottom and become mush. That's my favorite. I prefer that. I don't like it crunchy. A lot of people would disagree, but I don't care. That's what I like. Number 4. Number 3 is Cracklin' Oat Bran. I love Cracklin' Oat Bran. I don't know why I love it. It just tastes good. It crunches and it
And it
tastes.
makes you regular.
No, I don't think so. I don't think that's how they
That's what the
position that
Werther's
one.
original, right? It's in the theme of the Werthers, Crackling Oat Bran and Werthers.
I don't think Cracklin' Oat Bran is an elderly choice of an elderly favorite. I think it definitely is something that anybody of any age can enjoy. So, number 2, Frankenberry cereal. Of all the monster cereals, I think Frankenberry is the best. I'm not a big chocolate fan, obviously, from that last category. You can tell that, but I did enjoy not only the fact that it was a really cool version of Frankenstein in a cartoon form, but I'm a big fan of that strawberry flavor. And I think even though the marshmallows in that sort of cereal kind of tastes like maybe like flavored styrofoam, it still rings true to my nostalgia and to my heart. And number one, I think just the all-time best cereal of all time is Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I feel like that's just an all-time great. The taste is unmatched. I could eat it at any age, any time, any day. It does not matter. Cinnamon Toast Crunch in any form, because there's probably about 1,500 different types, is amazing and definitely number one.
That was very passionate, Chris, and I appreciate that. You have a love for breakfast cereal. I want to see what Tom's got to say.
You do have a love. I can appreciate that too. Like I said, mine actually comes from a place of thinking back to my childhood when I was only allowed sugared cereals on vacations. Whenever we were on holiday, there was no, like, I would never get sugar cereal during school time. So I don't, that's my list. 5 sugared cereals that are amazing. Number 5 is Trix, the classic. Still, I had to look it up. Like, does this still exist? And all I could find was Yoplait is making their Trix cereal, like Trix flavor, but I'd like to think it's still out there in some lone grocery aisle in Kmart, abandoned by everyone else. But
I think that's still available.
I think it is, yeah. So Trix is my number 5. My number 4 is just a classic Captain Crunch, because I think that once mixed with milk, it is just a beautiful combination. It is a match made in heaven that I love. The milk. Chris, you were talking about Fruity Pebbles milk. I think the Captain Crunch milk is glorious. Yeah, nothing beats a good bowl of Captain Crunch. Number 3 was a Nintendo cereal. So going back, you said retro gaming. Do you remember the Nintendo cereal? It was like a split box. It had half Mario, half Zelda. It was, I think it's more nostalgia than anything. I don't even remember the cereal being that great. It was probably fine, but there were 2 options in the cereal. And just the fact that you had a Nintendo cereal felt really cool. Number 2 would be peanut butter Chex. So I told you I love peanut butter, and Chex does a nice version. That seems kind of less sugary, but it still has that sugar in it. So none of these I'm eating at all. I seriously eat Cheerios every single morning. So it didn't even make my list. But peanut butter Chex, number 2. And then number 1, my most favorite sugar cereal, just cereal of all time, is Golden Crisp. Those puffed, sugary, golden nuggets of, I don't even know, Monsanto-ridden disaster. So tasty. I love Golden Crisp. Kind of similar to Honey Smacks, but Golden Crisp did it better.
Wow, Tom. Wow. You've actually knocked something into my brain that I completely forgot, and I had to completely alter my list because of something that you said, and I'll get to it. But I'll start at number 5. The high fructose corn syrup, most delicious cereal. The match made in heaven is the Captain Crunch and the milk. That would be my number 5. And again, I don't eat any cereal really anymore, but I remember enjoying these cereals very much as a kid. And I'm not opposed to eating the cereals. I just don't particularly eat them. Number 4, I had Honey Smacks and I totally threw it out the window because, what did you say? You said Golden Crisp?
Gold Crisp.
Dude, I was like looking up different types of cereals, and I completely forgot about Golden Grams. Golden Grams was like one of my favorite cereals as a kid. Maybe I shouldn't even have it number 4. Maybe I should have it higher, but I'm not going to screw this up any further. Number 3, I had the classic Honey Nut Cheerios because they're sweeter and have more high fructose corn syrup than regular Cheerios. Number 2, I'm going with the Fruit Loops. The Fruit Loops in the milk makes that delicious, yummy, fruity flavor. And number 1, this cereal was actually not available for that long a time. So not only is it gone now, I remember talking to my brother about it maybe about a year ago, and he actually, I think he bought like a couple of boxes off of eBay for like $40 a box because it doesn't exist anymore. But I think my favorite cereal, because I remember it as a kid, it was Rice Krispie Treats cereal, not Rice Krispies. There were little clusters of Rice Krispie Treats in a cereal. And I, for some reason, remember that being absolutely amazing. So I gave it my number 1, but I think I should have changed this all around. I think I do like Golden Grahams the best. I don't know. I'm just in a space of self-doubt at the moment on this cereal discussion, but thank you for the category. It was very good, Chris. I liked it.
All right. I'm happy you say that. So that face you made earlier was not because of this particular category.
Oh no, I was just kidding around. We did a lot of the music categories already. I was just these are fun categories, and they come along with fun.
Because that cut me deep.
Don't worry about my faces. Deep. You know, nobody can see my face. They don't know what I'm doing.
I can see your face. It affects me. And when it affects me, then it affects the show. But I'm not going to let it affect the show because we are down to the final category. I know it's sad, right? We've been talking about all these awesome things throughout this time with you during this episode, and we're finally at the last of all of the categories today for our Rankin' It episode. So that said, let's go ahead and get right to it. This is also non-music related, but it does relate to some of our conversations that we've had on High School Never Ends. Not specifically about this type of show. So what type of show am I talking about? I'm talking about sitcom, situation comedies. A lot of them do not have any kind of continuity. Some of them do. Maybe some of them just have a little bit, but we want to know what are our top 5 favorite. There are probably 10 billion sitcoms out there that we could list. Everything from Three's Company to Different Strokes. I'm really interested to see what you guys have to say. What's that?
I said no spoilers.
I don't know if that's on any of your lists. I don't know. But that said, we always start with Tom. So this time, let's change it up and let's start with Tom. What's your top 5? This is the last one, so there's a lot of pressure on this one. Top 5 favorite sitcoms of all time.
Yeah, I think this one felt a little easier for me to do, and I didn't watch a ton of TV, but I feel really good about my list. And Chris, I think you're going to feel really good about my list too.
Let's hear it.
Yeah, number 5, I'm going to go with Freaks and Geeks, which, that was a short-lived stint, but loved everything going on that. Steve, you don't know Freaks and Geeks? You'll have to look it up.
I'm quite aware of Freaks and Geeks. I don't know if that's a sitcom though.
It doesn't count.
I don't know. Chris, do you know Freaks and Geeks?
I didn't watch for you. I know
it was
of
a great
it,
show.
I never watched it. Is it more of a drama then? Would you consider it?
I think it's like a dramedy.
Sitcom stands for situational comedy, right? It's comedy.
Does a sitcom have to have a laugh track, Chris?
I wouldn't say so. No.
No. Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna shut up and let you continue. I apologize.
Because I have one. At least, dang. Now I'm gonna get lambasted for everything that I covered.
let's go with it. And I think Discord and everybody out there in listener land, why don't you guys decide what makes sense?
Yeah.
So,
all right. Well, give me the faces for my next ones then. Number 4, Curb Your Enthusiasm. Can I get that one? Sitcom.
Thumbs up.
Enthusiasm.
Definitely.
Definitely. All right. Number 3, Saved by the Bell.
Definitely.
I mean, I wanted that to be my number 1, but I had to reserve the 2 and 1 spots for Seinfeld is number 2, and The Office would be number 1. Can I get away with those?
You put The Office over Seinfeld. That's bold.
It was really tough, but the only reason I did that, Chris, is because I had Curb Your Enthusiasm and Seinfeld in the top 5, so I thought The Office would get the bump up to number 1.
Okay.
Because I already had, Larry David well represented in my top 5. Can you live with that?
I can live with it. That surprisingly enough, there's a lot of people in the year 2024 that have never seen Seinfeld, A, or B, don't think it's that funny, which blows my mind. So
That's tough.
makes me sad. Makes me sad. Good list. That was a great list, actually.
Thanks.
So for not watching a lot of TV, I think you hit it right on. All those are great shows. Steve, do you have similar picks, or are you completely different?
I have some similar picks. And I had to put in a sixth one because there's one that I really wanted to be on this list, but then there was a show that I like forgot when I initially put this on there, and I was like, oh my god, it has to be on there. So there's a show called Happy Endings, which I'm going to put at my honorable mention. It's a really, really funny show. I think it's on like Netflix or one of the streamers. The cast is amazing. It's got Elijah Cuthbert, or however you say her name. It's got Damon Wayans' son. It's really funny. Happy Endings should be on my list, but it's number 6. Number 5. I gotta put Friends. I just rewatched Friends like last year with my wife, and Friends is a great show. It's great. Number 4 has to go to Always Sunny. For some reason, I didn't think of Always Sunny as a sitcom because I was thinking about network comedies. But then, like right before we started recording, I was like, oh shit, Always Sunny needs to be on here. So I'm putting it at number 4. Number 3 is Curb Your Enthusiasm. I haven't started watching the new season yet, but I did start watching. I rewatched seasons 10 and 11, which I'm watching now, and I've got a lot of things to say. I love Curb. I have some favorite episodes that I quote in almost a daily basis. And exactly the same as Tom Kiger, I'm going number 2 Seinfeld, number 1 The Office, and I will defend that. Seinfeld is absolutely amazing. It's one of the best shows, but The Office was ahead of its time, part of its time. It was perfect, dude. It was amazing. The Office is just a little bit of a different sitcom than Seinfeld was, and it's hard to top Seinfeld. It really is. But if there's any show that could do it, it's The Office. Number 1 sitcom of all time, in my opinion.
Steve, can I put a little defense in our votes too for The Office over Seinfeld?
Sure.
Yes.
I think the thing that separates those two for me is the continuity of the storyline of The Office. Seinfeld has, yes, there's a story, but The Office has a much stronger story that I'm connected with as time goes on, as seasons progress.
I fully agree with you. Every episode of Seinfeld is absolutely great. And there are some storylines that take multiple seasons, George with Susan, whatever. But most of Seinfeld, it doesn't matter the continuity, whereas The Office does move, from A to Z over the course of the 9 seasons. Again, I can't denigrate Seinfeld at all, but I agree with you. Office edges it out.
Definitely a good debate topic for a future episode, because I have some things to say, but I'm not going to get into them right now because I want to get into my list. And I've probably changed this list 15,000 times. Like, I have so many. And what's also funny about your list too is you guys didn't really cite anything from like the family friendly TGIF stuff or anything from the 80s at all, really. I mean, outside of Seinfeld was early 90s, but I threw in a gem that as a kid would not miss an episode of this particular sitcom, and that's Alf. And I don't remember if it was a good show or a bad show, but I'm going to say that it definitely was nostalgic for me, and I remember really enjoying it when it was on, and I watched it every week. I'm sure there were jokes that flew over my head that I probably shouldn't have listened to, inferences and innuendos that Alf would make. Maybe not, but overall, again, I just love the character. It definitely was different than any other sitcom that was out during that time, and for me, really just super cool to have that show to watch. So Alpha is number 5. Number 4 for me was actually The Office at number 4 on my list. So definitely belongs in the top 5. The moments on the show, obviously, there's some amazing ones. The characters, I think the majority of them were funny, not all of them, but timing wise, I was a big fan of a lot of what they tried to do in the show. Even the later episodes too, I was into. I know a lot of people fell off, but I did not. For me, and I can't believe I'm saying this because at first I was totally against being the guy to say this, but I put Parks and Rec above The Office at number 3. For whatever reason, I just enjoyed that just a little bit more. I don't know why. I think it could flip flop depending on the day. But for today, Parks and Rec, Adam Scott, one of my favorite comedians, actors. I just like what Adam Scott does. Maybe it's just my type of humor. He has that dry. He's like the straight guy, he just plays that role perfectly, and he does it so well in this show too. So, and Aubrey Plaza, amazing. Why is his name slipping my mind? Chris
Pratt.
Chris Pratt. Yeah, I don't know why I couldn't think of him, but maybe because he's so big these days. But the beginning Chris Pratt stuff and like moving through the way that he interacted with those characters like Ron Swanson, man, that was just really, really funny. So Parks and Rec number 3, number 2, Seinfeld. I don't think there's much more to say there. Just an all-time great comedy. And honestly, Always Sunny is number 1 for me. I'm sorry, guys. I just love that show. I love what they're doing. I love that it's just nonsense, but there's a structure to that nonsense. And the fact that they brought Danny DeVito on that show, and it just worked so well, and it made it so much better. And he just added, there's so many moments, so many lines, so many gags, so many gimmicks, so much awesome stuff that you could quote, talk about with friends, just bring back. I mean, even Mac and Country Mac. I mean, even the list goes on and on. I can't say enough good things about Always Sunny, and it definitely is my favorite show. So that's my list.
Guys, we did a lot of ranking. We ranked it. We ranked it all. We ranked all the things.
We did it, and I had a lot of fun doing it. And I think that if you ask us maybe 6 months from now, the same lists, maybe some of them change, maybe some of them don't. Steve, in retrospect, you went back and listened to your last ranking it. I know these weren't the same categories, but did you find that anything that was similar change, or was it about the same?
I like to keep my keep what I say in stone. I was close to pretty close to most of anything I've said before, I think.
Okay. And I did not listen to the episode again, so I cannot remember what I said. Tom, did you have a good time with this exercise?
Yeah, it was a wonderful time reliving some of these things, and I really like the 80s songs. That was probably my favorite category that I had the most fun with trying to figure out that. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys inviting me on this, be a part of it. It's really fun. Good to see you.
Absolutely. I think it's worth taking the time that we did today to do this. But for those of you that weren't on the show today with myself, Tom, and Steve, I know you want to rank it too. I know you're chomping at the bit to do it. And we want to hear from you on what your top 5s were and all of the lists that we decided on for today. So one of the best ways to do that is to hop onto our Discord channel and list them out live. So Steve, maybe we should put the topics in there just for the sake of people to remember what we did. Obviously, I know you're out there taking notes, but we would love to hear what your top 5s were in all of the categories we listed today, how they compare, how they contrast, and your reasoning behind it, why I'm right, why Steve is wrong. I would be happy to hear all of those things for sure. But that said, we hope you enjoyed this episode. Tom, I can't say enough good things about having you on the show. Can't wait to have you back. You already said you had a good time, but I can't. I could just ask you one more time. Hey, was it awesome to have you on the show? And hopefully you had fun like we did.
Super awesome. Again, appreciated. When you do those early Green Day albums, if Punkish Dad's not available, you got a guy that knows them front to back. So always love talking about him.
I think we need a Tom Kiger, Wingman Steve, Punkish Dad trivia. I feel like that would be an extravaganza. We got to do it.
Excuse me.
It's like a winner's thing,
So I'm not a winner, is what you're trying to say.
You can put it on the game. You ask the questions.
If I remember correctly, I lost by 1 point. I think that's pretty close.
I think it was like 19 points.
I mean, scoreboard, right?
I don't think you listened back to the episode. It was.
Hey, this isn't that episode, so why are we talking about that?
brought it up.
Don't ruin the vibe of what was such an amazing show. This is an amazing show. Everybody had such a good time. We hope you did anyway. So, Tom, once again, thanks for coming on. Anything you want to plug or talk about?
I have nothing to plug other than listen to this podcast and go buy merchandise because you sent me some, Steve, and it's awesome.
Absolutely. You can buy Houston Calls on vinyl, right? Plug that. Houston Calls on vinyl. I think it's
You might be
available.
able to find 1 or 2 copies left, or you could find someone trying to pawn it off on eBay for more money than it probably should sell for, but that's okay.
Cool. I'm going to be looking out for that myself to get me, because I actually started a record collection of my own. So I will definitely go out and try to find one of those, just like you guys should. So appreciate that. And hopefully all of you guys out there once again enjoyed this Rankin' It Party Part 2, a part of February Folly, to kind of wrap things up for this particular series. Man, did we have fun with this, and what a way to end it. And for all of you out there that have Apple Podcasts, let us know what you thought about this episode. And if you listened to High School Never Ends in the past, we'd also like to hear from you on Apple Podcasts. If you haven't yet, give us a review, write out something that reflects your feelings about the show, what you'd like us to do in the future, what you like about the now. Give us a 5-star review. It helps us feel good about the show, helps me feel better. And do not forget to check out our shop. You can get to our shop through our hub, www.hsnepod.com, where we have wondrous things that you can find and buy related to High School Never Ends, like hats, shirts. I always say things we don't have, so I'm going to defer to Steve for the rest of that list.
Fingerless gloves. I think that's your favorite thing to say. We don't have those, but go there and buy a mug or a hat or a hoodie or a t-shirt. And follow us on all of the socials at HSNEPod, like High School Never Ends Pod. Thank you so much for coming on this Rankin' It journey with us. February Folly is going to be officially closed. We'll have something brand new for you in the month of March. Stay tuned. Until then, keep on rocking those dad bods, throw up your rock hands, and blast the pop punk.
Hey, have you ever wanted to learn about the classical mythologies that have shaped our world as we know it?
But the thought of jumping into dense reading sounds intimidating, boring, or you just can't be fucked to find the time?
Great, that's what podcasts are for.
Learn and laugh along with me, Sarah, and my best friend and improv comedy partner, Paul, as we teach each other mythology on Myth Understood.
From Zeus to Ulysses, from Thor to Osiris, we cover both the favorites and the obscure.
And because mythology is frequently explicit, obscene, violent, and bizarre, there's a lot to joke about along the way.
So come for the mythology and stay for the absurdity on Myth Understood.
Available now at mythunderstoodpodcast.com and your podcast platform of choice.
It's Dragon Wagon.